Right, we're going to give you a crash course in proteins. We've been talking about protein a lot. I've been asked lots of questions, and I just want to sort of make it nice and easy to understand, hopefully, nice and concise, and just give you a better idea of what it is, where it comes from, how we use it, and why we use it. And hopefully see that come the end of this, you'll realise that proteins are your good friend, and you're going to want to eat more of it, and you can see the reasons why. Protein, what is it? Proteins are molecules in the human body and in plants, can be found in animals, minerals, vegetables, and they are made up of amino acid chains, and the easiest way to describe it, they are muscles, and they do various functions in the plants or in the animals to help that plant or animal live and function. So for us, our muscles are made up of proteins, and branched chain amino acids are proteins, and the muscles help us move and function, and go about our everyday life. Your heart is a muscle. It's made up of proteins. So the better the quality of the protein, the stronger the muscle, the better it's going to function. You can find it in animals, in all their muscles. In us, we're an animal, we got muscles, we got protein. You can find it in plants. For those vegan people out there, pea is very, very good protein. Rice is very good protein source, which then leads on to good proteins and bad proteins. So what I have actually done before for someone with their diet is I've put together a bit of a diet list, and I put on there a list of good and bad proteins on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this onto the net as well, so you can have a copy of this. General rule of thumb when you're looking at proteins in meat, the white meat is the better. White meat, turkey, chicken, and white fish, they're going to be your best sources. Turkey's a little bit more expensive, but it's got a very, very good nutritional value. Chicken, very good protein source, readily available and a lot cheaper. That's probably the number one. White fish, really, really good as well. Fish generally a very, very lean meat. They don't get pesticides and other chemicals and stuff like that from living out in the sea, we hope. And very, very healthy living. Also other good proteins. Salmon, very, very good. Eggs are very, very good. And then the thing about the eggs as well, don't worry about the separating your yolks. There have been so many good studies over the last few years saying that actually the cholesterol in the yolk isn't as bad as they thought it was, so don't worry about it. If you're eating about 10 plus eggs a day, then separate your yolks and whites. But for Joe Public, I eat these every day, just whole, in an omelette, don't separate. Tuna is okay, but again, just be careful where it comes from and whether it's soaked in something or other, some oil or whatever as well. Again, steak is very, very good as well, but as you see, you're getting into a darker meat. So very, very, pick a lean steak, and it also digests very, very slowly. So you only really want to eat it once a week, and if you can have it in the evening as well, then it gives your body all night to digest that meat. And just be careful, portion control. A big old steak, your body's really going to struggle to digest that. Bad proteins, here we go. This is the bit you probably don't want to hear. Bacon, pork, lamb's not that great, it can be lean. Burgers, again, you can have a lean burger, but it's just not very good. Processed meat, absolutely not. So you want to stick to your white meats and stay away from those fatty meats. The other form you can get your protein in is in milk, which nicely takes me on to sports supplements, really, and proteins that you get in sports supplement shops and gyms, things like that. And it's what they do with the milk to get it from the cow, that nice cow, into the tubs that we see on the high street shops. So Milk comes out of a cow, nice looking cow there, and then they separate the whey and the curd. The curd goes off and you can go and make butters and cheeses, things like that, and that's quite a fatty part of it. And then what we want is the slightly clearer whey liquid there. And then the good trick from a manufacturing point of view is how they then get that into a powdered form into a tub. Best way to do it is under very, very, very cold temperatures. If you heat things up, you're going to burn away all the nutrients. So the good companies out there, Reflex being one of them, they are a manufacturer, they make their own, under a very, very cold manufacturing process, they will freeze dry that and then get it into a powder format, and then get it into tubs for you to buy. Go back to the cow. We'll come back to that one in a minute. And then they put it into a nice tub like this for you, and then they put flavourings in there, and they might put extra vitamins and bits and pieces in there to sell it as products. Again, you're going to see a whole array of different protein supplements in shops, and it can be a bit of a minefield, but basically you are going to split them into 5 different proteins. The one you're looking at, they all come from whey, except one. So when you're going out there, like I said before in the other videos, you want to really just look for one. Every brand does one. It just says 100% whey on the front there. And what they've done is they've taken that whey from the curd. They've gone through that process of trying to keep it as close to as 100% protein as possible in that manufacturing process, not damaging anything at all, putting it into a powder form, put some flavouring in there, get it in the tub and get it to you. Most of them will get into about the 80%. There are one or two that are doing 91, 92%. But anything in sort of the 80s, very, very good. So start off with 100% whey. It's nice and simple. You're getting the protein you want. Job done. So, but within whey, they have various different versions of it. So you've got whey concentrate, which is the slightly cheaper version of it, if you like. It's quite the easy process, fast process that they use to get it out there. Generally gives you a good protein content, and it does manage to get rid of a decent amount of the fats and carbs as well. So you're just left with a nice, fast absorbing protein. You get an isolate, which is fantastic for straight after the gym and hard sessions. The isolate, they've just managed to strip away all of the excess fat, sugars, carbs that you find in milk. Milks are naturally quite sugary. They managed to strip all of that away, and they're left with a very, very clean, pure whey protein, and it absorbs really, really quick. So isolates are generally what you find in your 100% wheys. Now, native whey is considered to be the best, or one of the best forms of whey out there, and there's only, as far as I know, 2 companies doing it, certainly in the UK, one of them being Reflex and the other being CMP. Native whey extracts the whey straight from the skimmed milk, so it goes through extra filters. It gets rid of nearly all of those fats and sugars and all the excess nutrients that you don't want, and it just leaves you with the best quality protein that you can get. So you will pay a little bit more for it, but the quality is as good as it gets. They also do hydroisolate, which is also known as Pepto Pro. You can get it from various companies. And basically it's a casein protein, which we've spoken about before, which is derived from a different strand of milk, and then they add it with water, or they waterify it along the way. And what that does, it means it breaks down faster in the human body and it absorbs even quicker, so it's even faster absorbing than an isolate. And it means you can get really, really high content of that one as well. So we've got the 85.3% protein count out of that, and it absorbs super quick, easy to drink, very, very good source of protein. Casein, as we know from the bedtime protein, it's a slower release protein, So by doing the hydroisolate part, they've speeded it up by putting the water in there. Micellar casein is the slower process. Again, it comes from that different strand of milk. Still comes out of a cow. Even the cows look the same. It can be the same looking cow. It's just got different genetics, so it produces a slightly different strand of milk, also known as A2. And generally, the human body can digest A2 milk better than just your standard A1 milk, which you find on the shelf. So if you have issues with dairy and things like that, you might want to give A2 milk a crack, and you certainly want to give casein a go as well. So basically what you've got in your proteins there, you've got fast release, medium release and slow release. And then the quality of how much fats and sugars are in there. What you'll also find is that some people do blends, and I should say it on there. Protein blend. So sometimes they put a mixture of those in there, so you'll get an isolate insert really, really quick, and then you get a concentrate in there. So you get sort of a mid-range one, and then they might put a native whey in there for a bit of quality. So that's what they've done in here as well. So they've got a fast, medium and slow protein in there as well. And then I've just got this one just because I've got this tub lying around. So diet, you're looking at, they'll add other features in there to help you burn more calories, etc., etc. But generally the protein in there will be the same, and it's fast release, slow release, and the quality of it. So again, it's still a bit of a minefield for you. So general rule of thumb, read the label, and on the label you want to have a look at the protein content, and you want to look at the per 100, and you want to go down and anything from 70 grams upwards, which means it's 70% upwards. So this has got 72%. Micellar casein, this has got 76%, and this has got 85%. Read the label, read the protein content, 70% up, then check the carbohydrates content, but then more importantly look how much of that is sugar. You want to get that right down. So here we go, 2.9 grams of sugar, of carbohydrates in there. Oh, sorry, 2.9 grams of carbohydrates, 0.9 of which are sugar, so very, very low. You don't want the sugar. And then just check the fat content as well. But that's the big one. You want to make sure there's 70% more protein in there, and you know you're getting something that's very, very good quality. So the big question that people ask me, and I got asked it again last night, they're going, or they say, the comment they say is, "Oh God, I don't want to take protein because I don't want to get big and I don't want to look like bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger." You won't. Endurance athlete, unless you're specifically training for that. So this is the thing: just by drinking all these products, adding them into your diet, doesn't mean that you're going to bulk up and all of a sudden you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or any other bodybuilders out there. I am living proof of that. I eat a lot of protein. The general rule of thumb for that is, for protein content per day, it's 1.5 grams of protein to every kilo of body weight. I weigh 70 kilos, so I should be having at least 105 grams of protein a day. My diet, I'm doing over 200 grams of protein a day, and I'm still losing weight and I'm getting leaner. So the big myth or misconception is that this will make you bigger and stronger and musclier and bulkier unless you're specifically training for that. I'm training as a cyclist for endurance, so I'm not promoting muscle growth. The protein there is to help repair and recover, for me to keep training. It's not there for me to bulk up in sizes. You don't get to look like that guy just by drinking protein. He's doing many, many, many other things to make him get that big. And the main difference is the way that he's training. So that is a nice picture of muscle fibre. He's going into the gym and he's lifting unbelievably heavy weights, and he's breaking muscle strands. So you can see there's like one strand poking out the end there. He's breaking it so it's like 5, 6, 7, 8 strands when he goes to the gym. He's eating proteins and amino acids to reconnect those to make his muscle thicker and bigger. So it's his training and his diet that are making his muscles bigger. Endurance athletes don't do that. That's not what's happening to your muscles. So please don't be scared of taking protein. You will not get bigger and musclier and bulkier from the training you're doing and your diet. Just really, hopefully that makes it nice and clear for you. There's probably going to be loads of questions, which is fine. I'd rather you ask the questions and rather blow away this horrible understanding and myth that protein's going to make you muscly. It is essential. Have a look at what the pros are doing. I can guarantee you now that Team Sky and Chris Froome and those boys are eating protein regularly, 5-6 times a day. They're having it in every single meal. They'll have it in the morning. It's fantastic in the morning with your eggs. He'll have it before he goes to bed. He'll have it in his meals. His meals will be structured around proteins. So yeah, have a look on the net, see what they're up to, just to sort of back that up. And just the last thing to say, just the best time of day to take your protein. Generally, I'm going to say if you're not taking it now, just think of 2 times a day. One, straight after training. You've got this magical window of about 20 minutes after you've trained where you need to get your protein supplements in. You've got that 20 minutes because what happens when you train, your immune system drops very, very low, your body becomes very receptive to absorbing things, and then you want to put in the best thing you can get possible. So that's going to be your protein recovery shake. So that's why that 20-minute window is in there. So that's the first time, straight after training. The other time is first thing in the morning. So you can have that with your breakfast, and you can have extra. I'm going to have an omelette, and I'm also going to have actually some Pepto Pro. So you're getting in first thing in the morning. You want to get some protein in, and then get it in again after you've trained. That's the basic rules of thumb. If you're not doing that in your diet at the moment, definitely try that now. Add it into breakfast and the 20 minutes after your workout, and let's see how we go. Please send across any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. And I hope that you've learned something, and you're going to go out and add more protein to your diet. Thanks for watching. Share the video, get some more subscribers up there, and enjoy the Vuelta.